I say, Canadians are so proud of what you're doing and the collaboration. And I just want to have a chance, if I may. I mean, I'm thrilled. I'm absolutely thrilled to be speaking with you, Jeremy, and the crew. We've all been watching and inspired.
Yeah, Integrity Houston, cabin repress is complete, 14-7, and we'll stay that way for the rest of the mission.
Stan, we definitely appreciate that, and you should probably just carry a note forward for future Artemis missions. If you do a large repress like that, there are certain things, such as CCUs, that collapse pretty significantly during that, no damage, but there are some things we probably would want to vent along the way as we come back in pressure.
Received loud and clear, Reed. We'll take that note.
That was Commander Reed Wiseman calling down to the ground. We did conduct the cabin repressurization today. The cabin pressure was kept at 10.2 psi for an extended period of time as part of a test aboard the spacecraft, as this is a test flight, the first flight of humans aboard Orion. Everything we learn is helping us prepare for future missions.
Houston Integrity, calling the blind from a Peltor, and just doing a test for the Peltor noise reduction flexible activity. These actually work really well. We have 3 crew members on Peltors, 1 in the toilet, and we're using the Bluetooth feature to talk between them, and they sound really good. Noise canceling makes them very quiet, and then talking to each other with push to talk on the headsets.
This is Artemis Mission Control in Houston, Texas. You just heard NASA astronaut Victor Glover call down from the Orion spacecraft. You can see a live view of that Orion spacecraft. He noted that he was making a call in the blind, which means that he knows that the team here cannot respond to that call because we are currently in a forward link loss of signal. This is Artemis Mission Control. Following that brief data rate change, we now have those live views back of the crew inside the Orion spacecraft. Again, they're working through some stowage activities to start preparing for re-entry prep. They will do a lot of their re-entry preparations tomorrow when they will be reconfiguring the cabin to prepare for splashdown, and they will also be studying their entry procedures. In addition to stowing some of their equipment, they will also be installing their seats to ensure all items are secured for re-entry.
We all just had that weird vibe of backing up and we were getting sad.
Have a look, and we'll let you know if we have anything we can tee up for you now. Otherwise, we'll wait for it as scheduled.
That sounds great, and Victor's spinning is making us giggle. It's really spectacular.
Integrity, this is NASA PAO Courtney Beasley. How do you hear me?
Hey, Courtney, we hear you, but you are very low.
Okay, I will try to talk a little bit louder. Reed, Victor, Christina, and Jeremy, it's great to see you today. We have a room filled with media eager to talk
Courtney,
to you.
We have you loud and clear.
Wonderful. We have a room full of media ready to talk to you today, and we also have them on our phone bridge. We have a limited amount of time, so we're going to go ahead and hop straight into questions. We'll start here in the room with Marcia Dunn. Go ahead.
Marcia Dunn, Associated Press for you, Reed. Could you please describe your emotions when Jeremy called down to Mission Control to ask permission to name a lunar crater after your late wife, Carol? It was a pretty emotional, powerful moment down here.
Marcia, it was a powerful moment up here as well. My crewmates approached me when we were at Kennedy in quarantine, and they said, hey, the three of them had talked, and they would like to do this. And that was an emotional moment for me, and I just thought that was just a total treasure that they had thought through this and they had offered this. And I said, absolutely, I would love that. I think that's just the best. And I said, but I can't give the speech. I can't give the talk. And Jeremy, the kind of guy he is, he said he would do it. And it was getting emotional there. And I think when Jeremy spelled Carol's name, Carroll, I think for me, that's when I was overwhelmed with emotion. And I looked over and Christina was crying. I put my hand down on Jeremy's hand as he was still talking. It was right there on that rail. And I could just tell he was trembling, and we all pretty much broke down right there. And just for me personally, that was kind of the pinnacle moment of the mission for me. That was, I think, where the four of us were the most forged, the most bonded, and we came out of that really focused on that day ahead. I think that was a very caging moment for the four of us. Thank you for that question, and it was a great moment.
And we have seen just some extraordinary things that I thought we might see. They looked similar to what I thought they might look like, and other things that I just had never even imagined. And those were different perspectives that we saw these things from. But I have to say, it hasn't changed my perspective or the perspective that I launched with. But the perspective I launched with was that we live on a fragile planet. In the vacuum in the void of space. We know this from science. We're very fortunate to live on planet Earth. And the other perspective that I've sort of learned from others through life is that our purpose on the planet as humans is to find the joy in lifting each other up by creating solutions together instead of destroying. And when you see it from out here, it doesn't change it. It just absolutely reaffirms that.
Houston, integrity for a quick, kind of a PAO item, but more of a item for the folks in the control room there.
Go ahead.
Do you have our video still?
We do.
I'm not sure if it made it in the handover, but this morning we were asked to go unpack a very special item, and we just wanted to we wanted to share it in that PO event. We just didn't get an opportunity to do so. So we were to share with you all because we need to share this. Like this has to be shared, right? So in Victor's hands here is the Apollo 18 flag that the agency asked to have put on board Artemis II so that it could take its rightful trip around the moon. And the four of us are just honored to have this here. We're honored that it is in our presence, and we are honored to carry the torch from Apollo through Skylab, through the space shuttle, through our beloved International Space Station, and now back further than humans have ever gone, around the far side of the moon, and safely home back to Houston. So we just wanted to share this with you because it needed to be shared. Thanks.
Carrying the torch indeed. Thank you for sharing it with us and the world, and we'll look forward to welcoming you and that flag back to Houston shortly.
Letícia, eu vou ver aqui com o pessoal aqui da saúde, aí eu te dou a resposta, tá? Aí eu te passo a informação certinha, como fazer, tá bom?
O pessoal só sabe pedir, né, vereador? É doido, é?
Esse eu não sei como conseguir uma aquisição.
Ah, é, rapaz?
Olha a outra aí.
Rapaz, eu não me lembro de ter pedido alguma coisa pra mim. Você chegou um dia pro vereador aqui, cara. Queria 300 litros de gasolina. Te juro, ó. 300? Sim, ele não tem condição não. Tem gente que faz
point of the astronauts' journey back to Earth, which will culminate in a parachute-assisted splashdown in the Pacific off the coast of San Diego on Friday night at 7:07 p.m. Central Time, 5:07 p.m. Pacific Time, some 2.5 hours before sunset. As my colleague Nullifer Ramji just indicated, the entry team of flight controllers is on duty at this hour, led by Entry Flight Director Rick Henfling. You'll be hearing the voice of spacecraft communicator Jackie Mahaffey throughout the course of the day as she discusses all the procedures and conferences that lie ahead on this eve of the astronauts' homecoming to wrap up what will be a mission just over 9 days in duration. The Artemis mission management team is about to convene for quite good for splashdown for the crew on Friday night to wrap up what will ultimately be a mission of 694,392 statute miles. That includes that high Earth orbit trajectory that Orion was put in. Before the translunar injection burn that occurred this past Monday that sent the spacecraft en route to the moon for its historic dynamics officer here in Mission Control, and that includes the total distance between launch and splashdown. The weather forecast is essentially unchanged from what you heard in our mission status briefing yesterday. We are expecting, assuming an on-target splashdown for integrity, for winds to be out of the southwest, somewhat less than 10 knots, wave heights around 4 feet, generally essential and ideal conditions for the recovery operations that will follow the parachute-assisted splashdown for the vehicle and its 4 occupants. There will be a number of entry preparation activities throughout the course of the day. Later this afternoon, there will be a conference between the flight director, Rick Henfling, and the crew to talk about entry procedures. The crew will receive from the flight dynamics officer what is called an entry pad. That is a sheet that contains all of the pertinent statistics for all the burns that will occur on Friday, leading up to the separation of Integrity from the European Service Module prior to its entrance into the Earth's atmosphere on Friday evening. That high-speed entry is going to be quite dynamic. It will start at 6:53 p.m. Central Time tomorrow, Friday, with an arrival at entry interface at an altitude of 400,000 feet, with Integrity traveling at some 34,882 feet per second. At that point, the range to splashdown will be some 1,700 nautical miles. And shortly thereafter, we will enter a planned 6-minute blackout period where peak heating will occur around the vehicle, and temperatures will increase to some 4,000 to 5,000 degrees Fahrenheit, creating an ionization. As Integrity's heat shield repels that heat, it will create a plasma shield that will prevent communications between ground controllers here in Mission Control and the vehicle. Once we emerge from that 6-minute blackout period, the vehicle will begin to enter the denser portions of the Earth's atmosphere. We'll conduct a series of roll reversals to bleed off excess speed, with its onboard computers targeting a splashdown at 7:07 p.m. Central Time, 5:07 p.m. Pacific Time to wrap up this historic mission, flying around the moon and the first crewed mission on the Orion spacecraft. In the field of view from one of the solar array wing cameras on Integrity is the astronauts' destination for tomorrow night. That is planet Earth. It's winking back at you as we approach the halfway mark in this mission back home. And again, we will reach that halfway home mark just 8 hours and 8 minutes from now, around 7:05 p.m. Central Time. If you're wondering why you haven't heard from the crew so far since the wake-up music, that has been planned all along throughout the mission. The wake-up music designed to do just what it is intended to, wake the crew up. They'll be on the Orion to Earth comm loop shortly, talking to flight controllers here in Mission Control in Houston. One programming note, our mission status briefing for the day is scheduled at 2:30 p.m. Central Time, 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time, where you'll hear all of the latest information about the status of Integrity Systems and preparations for its splashdown in the Pacific on Friday evening. We'll delve in much more detail about the entry timeline as the day goes along. Out in the Pacific, the recovery ship, the USS John P. Murtha, is moving towards its recovery position off the coast of San Diego, and will be at the ready to begin the recovery of the crew once they splash down. Shortly after splashdown, a series of 5 inflatable airbags called the Crew Module Uprighting System, or CMOOS as you will hear it referred to, they will be inflated with helium and will maintain an upright position for Integrity to facilitate the erection of a large raft called the front porch that will be buttressed alongside the hatch to Integrity to enable Navy divers to open the hatch and extract the crew members so they can be hoisted one by one in alternating fashion into 2 hovering helicopters that will fly then a short distance to the deck of the John P. Murtha, where the crew will leave those helicopters and be brought into medical bay on the ship for post-flight medical exams. The ultimate destination for the crew will be right back here at the Johnson Space Center. They'll be flown back from shore in San Diego to the Johnson Space Center. The exact timing of all that, uncertain. So we'll be updating you on all of that activity after we get past splashdown on Friday night. Once again, Integrity Systems are in great shape, the crew having just been awakened to begin its workday. On the eve of its homecoming, we have just passed 7 days, 17 hours, 25 minutes into the flight of Integrity on the Artemis II mission. This is Mission Control Houston. This is Mission Control Houston, and this morning as we get underway with Flight Day 9 on the Artemis II mission, joining us today, Johnson Space Center Director Vanessa Weich. Vanessa, thanks for being with us today. It's a privilege.
Phenomenal mission we've been having. So excited to be here.
It is historic in nature. We're about 32 hours until we're expecting the crew to splash down in the Pacific to complete the mission. Big picture, the history-making aspects of the mission are clearly delineated, but in your mind, the significance of what we are pulling off here this week and what it means for the future.
You know, Rob, it's just... it's hard to describe the significance of this mission. We have building and planning our teams towards this for quite some time. The Orion spacecraft is managed here at the Johnson Space Center. We have been a part of the design, development, test of that vehicle, and it's had milestones along the way. You know, we had our uncrewed Artemis I mission back in 2022, but now we have our astronauts on board, and they are demonstrating that that spacecraft is ready for us to have humans on board, for us to continue deep space exploration, which we have not done since 1970. Opportunity to explore and to build from what Apollo did, but moving to the moon and to build from what Apollo did, but moving to the moon, we're now going to have a moon base. We're going to learn how to live there. We're going to go to Mars. It opens up all of the universe. It's just amazing for human exploration.
And one of the building blocks that I think some people may have forgotten about this week in the glow of Artemis II is just down the hall in the International Space Station Flight Control Room, where we've had a continuous human presence for over 25 years. The integration, the synergy, if you will, between the ISS Flight Control Room, this Flight Control Room, all of the programs that are building blocks, what does that say to you?
Rob, this place is buzzing. Mission Control right now, we are controlling a spacecraft that is in low Earth orbit and one that is in deep space that's hurling its way back to Earth. And so just think about it. We have been, as you said, with the International Space Station, learning to have continuous presence in an environment that is far different than what we have here on Earth. And so the experiments that we're able to do with the space station allows us, it enables what we can do in deep space. The systems that we're using for our environmental control systems on board Orion are building blocks from what we have on the International Space Station. It's just, for us right here at the Johnson Space Center right now, this is an amazing time, and I'm so proud. I'm so proud of all of the teams, the flight controllers in this room and the flight controllers that are in ISS, and we are preparing for the International Space Station itself. They have a big dynamic operation coming up very soon, and all of that is happening all at the same time, and we're making it happen.
I joke with people sometimes about the significance of the IQ that exists in this room and the ISS room all around the center, with brilliant people, great engineers who have tremendous training. How does the Johnson Space Center cultivate such a talent force, if you will, and maintain it as we move into a new era of space exploration?
You know, Rob, I started my career here at the Johnson Space Center. I've had the opportunity to work with all of our NASA centers. I had an opportunity to be at NASA headquarters. But what we do with our individuals here at Johnson is we work in team environments, and we make sure that when a younger employee comes in, they do on-the-job training. Everyone is exposed to their position so that they can learn. We nurture, we mentor them so that they are ready. And we do that in our engineering organizations, we do that in our science organizations, and in our operations teams. It's all about learning from the past so that when you're the one that's in the chair, when you're the flight director that's running this room, you've had opportunities before you to be able to train and be ready for that job.
Everybody wants the magic question, how do you feel? How do you feel? How are you going to feel tomorrow when you see Orion under those chutes and ultimately, when the hatch opens and you see this crew emerge onto that life raft, it's almost like you've seen it in the movies before, but it's going to be for real on Friday night.
Rob, I'll tell you, I was at the launch, and the feeling that I had then, which was really one of, we really have them on board, and we lit that rocket, and it took off, and there they went. And every single moment since, I have been living the dream of, this is what we have been training for. This is what we've been getting ready for many years. And so when they land, I don't know if I'm going to be able to contain the pride, the joy, and it's of not just our teams, not just of those astronauts, because they have been doing an amazing job, but it's people all around the world that have contributed to this mission. And so I'm going to have probably, it's going to take me a while to stop smiling. I'm going to tell you that, and get my feet back on the ground.
Well, we appreciate everything you do for us here, Vanessa, and we appreciate your time today, and certainly looking forward to tomorrow night, that's for sure.
For sure, and thank you. Thank you so much, and thank you to our entire team. Everyone, as I said, is just doing a fabulous job. Thank you.
Vanessa Weich, Johnson Space Center Director. It's a busy place for sure. Action just about to get underway aboard Orion for Flight Day 9 on the eve of the astronauts' homecoming on this historic mission. Vanessa Weich. This is Mission Control Houston, 7 days, 17 hours, 41 minutes into the flight of Integrity on the Artemis II mission. The lunar flyby that occurred earlier this week, setting up the orbital mechanics for Integrity to splash down off the coast of San Diego on Friday night to complete its mission that will have spanned from launch to splashdown 694,392 statute miles. As you can see in this data-generated visualization, we're just about at the halfway point between the moon and the Earth, halfway home. That halfway point, just 7 hours and 49 minutes away. And the velocity of Integrity as it hit the spacecraft, resulting in a splashdown at 7:07 p.m. Central Time, 5:07 p.m. Pacific Time on Friday evening.